And joining us now from Washington is the documentary filmmaker and political activist Michael Moore. Given all the compromises on this bill, is it a disappointment?
Yes, it's a disappointment because we remain the only Western industrialized country without universal health care. So it's a huge disappointment. But there's probably a bigger thing going on here today, which is that finally, after a year in office, President Obama has an important victory under his belt, and he can pull it off. And so now he should build on that, because there are some good things, as you pointed out in this bill, that 32 million people will have access now to health care who didn't have it before. That still leaves about 15 million without any health insurance in this country. Children will not be denied because they have a pre-existing condition. So there's some good things about it. But in the end, the private insurance companies still control everything in this country. And actually, I don't know why they're so upset today that they lost, because they didn't really lose. The bill mandates that anybody in America who doesn't have health insurance has to write a check now to a private profit-making insurance company for insurance. So they're going to get a few million new customers as a result of this bill, and that should enhance their bottom line significantly.
But given there's an election in November, do you think ultimately this could make him or break him?
Well, that remains to be seen. I think that, look, I think the public is still behind Obama. There's still a lot of hope. Something's got to happen. We know what happened in the previous 8 years before he came into office. We were led through a pretty dark time, and the country and the economy was left in quite disrepair. So I don't think anybody's really anxious to go back to that yet. And the Republicans are, I don't know what they're all upset about. Their corporate guys and their insurance companies are going to make off like bandits with this bill. And it's just funny listening to that, because I know you're watching this in Great Britain. It must seem odd to you to see American politicians stand there on the floor of Congress and scream about, no, we don't want to be able to see a doctor if we get sick. We don't need that. We're Americans. We can heal ourselves. Shock and awe. I just don't get it.
But if this is really what change looks like, I mean, it makes any future change look really difficult to deliver, quite conservative, pretty stuttering. You know, this is not the revolution that the world expected.
Yeah. No, no. This is pretty Mickey Mouse. In fact, the bill is very close to what Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts. So it's the kind of bill that Republicans used to pass when they were a little kinder and gentler. This isn't real universal health care. I mean, Americans still do not have that, and the insurance companies still call the shots.
But is it the system? You know, is the American political system now stacked against the kind of fundamental change that we saw in the New Deal? You know, that there are constant comparisons to, or is it just that Obama is just not as strong as people thought he was, that he's not as popular as he thought he was?
He is as popular. When you put him up in the polls against any alternative, he beats them hands down. But no, he has not come in strong like we wanted him to. He should have come in there the way the Republicans come in there. When they come into office, I mean, it's like they get in their big-ass Hummer and they drive down Pennsylvania Avenue with guns blazing, telling everybody to get out of the way. These are the laws we're going to pass, and that's the end of that. And the Democrats came in with this sort of let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. We can all get along, can't we? And it's like, no, the other side doesn't want to get along. And so hopefully now, after last night, the Democrats will have found a bit of their spine, hopefully.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it, when it comes to things like the banks? You know, will he dare go ahead with his big, bold plans to take on the banks? What's he going to do on climate change? Will he even bother with the Middle East now?
He has to do all those things. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he allowed not he, but the government allowed Wall Street to operate with no regulations. Not one single regulation has been put back in place in the year and a half since the crash of '08. So another crash is as likely as the first one was. He's going to have to really take the reins now and say, look, I'm in charge. I'm not here to get reelected. I'm here to do what's best for the people. Climate change, all these issues, the Middle East. I know that he cares very deeply about these things deep down inside of him, but it's got to quit being so deep down. It's got to come out. and these guys have got to get some fight in them. I and others, millions of others in this country, are waiting for that moment.
Michael Moore, thank you very much indeed.